some people call me Paulie. And so the next contestant, Mr. Dan Collier, the name of his speech is My Father's Father. My Father's Father, Mr. Dan Collier.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but nothing tickles my funny bone better than seeing somebody from California speak a little New York. In fact, the only thing that would be funnier would be a whole room of people speaking New York, right? We'll get to that later. But we have a little bit of time to kill in between. So I'm going to tell you a story about New York. Now, the story begins back in May. It was my 50th birthday, and my wife asked me, what would you like to do on your 50th birthday? And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I'd like to go back to New York, visit with my dad, and go on a New York City pizza tour. A New York City pizza tour. Now, my friend Scott owns the business in New York City. He is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the work that he does there. And he's invited me. So I said, Dave, this is what I want to do on my 50th birthday. So sure enough, we headed to New York. Now, I must tell you that before we go, that I was born and raised in New York, but I've gone a little native here in California for 30 years. I've lost the accent. I married me a nice San Diego girl. They told me back east you wouldn't find somebody out here who cooks. I did. I did stay in the pizza business though, so that worked out well. Well, we went back there, and I'm going to tell you about this guy that we met. His name is Vinny. Now, Vinny speaks classic New York, Paulie. All right? Vinny, anytime that you've got a TH, he eliminates that and he puts in a D. And then what he does, he takes and he removes every other R from the sentence. Not everyone, just every other R. So what you end up with is, hey Vinny, where'd you get your name? My father's name was Vinny. My father's father's name was Vinny. There you go, that's a little New York for you. Well, we went on Scott's pizza tours, and we got a chance to see in the 5 boroughs a load of pizza parlors. It was fantastic. I mean, can you imagine a job that you eat pizza and tour pizza companies every day? It was so cool. We finished in Brooklyn, and Vinny was the owner here, and I got to tell you about Vinny. Classic New York. I mean, you could not even imagine an actor pulling this off. We come into Vinny's pizza parlor, and you walk in, and there's the bar and the classic red vinyl booths with the plaid tables, and you're walking back to the party room in the back where Vinny is, welcoming you. His restaurant's empty, but he's welcoming the rest of us. We come in. My wife comes in, she sits down in a chair, we sit over here, and he says, hey, you're sitting in my chair. My wife, she's like, oh my gosh, these New Yorkers, I don't want to offend anybody, right? So she starts getting up, he says, no, you're in my home now, you can sit in my chair. So I say, hey Vinny, why is that your chair of all these chairs in here? He says, well, you look up on the wall there, looking away from the front door, and you see a picture of my father. And people that are coming into the restaurant, they don't know I'm looking at them, because I can see their reflection in the picture of my father. So this is why it's my chair. As a matter of fact, the other day, some guy comes in, doesn't know I'm looking, because I'm looking at my father, right? Comes in, goes to the bar, helps himself to a drink. I grab my oven peel. Now, oven peel is the spatula you use to take the pizza out of the oven. It's about this wide or this wide. I grab my oven peel, I go running out there, I tell you, I'm going to shove this thing down your throat. Kathy told me to clean up my act a little bit. Sure enough, this guy goes running like forget about it, all right? So we go back in there, and Scott, the head of the pizza store, says, Dan, you want to have a little fun with Vinny? I said, yeah, I would love to have a little fun with him. He says, ask him why he doesn't have pineapple on the menu. So I say, hey, Vinny, how come you don't have pineapple on your menu? Oh, boy. He let loose a torrent. There's never been pineapple on a pizza. My father didn't put pineapple on pizza. My father's father didn't put pineapple on a pizza. Pineapple should not be on a pizza. Well, Vinny, it's a fruit. You've got tomatoes, olives, they're on pizza. Tomatoes and olives, they ain't a fruit. I'll tell you what's a fruit. Those people from California, they have messed up pizza for life by putting pineapple on pizza. All right. So Scott leans into me and says, we ain't done here, you want to have a little bit more fun? He says, ask him why he doesn't put seafood on his pizza. So I say, okay. Hey, Vinny, how come you don't put seafood on your pizza? Seafood? Seafood's never been on pizza. My father didn't put seafood on pizza. My father's father didn't put seafood on pizza. Seafood is an abomination to pizza. Hey, Vinny, anchovies. You got anchovies on your pizza? As a matter of fact, I seem to remember anchovies the very first ingredient they ever put on pizza. Anchovies always been there. Anchovies ain't seafood. Anchovies always been on pizza. All right. But, you know, I've been talking about Vinny here for a while. I'd like to give a shout out to him. You remember how Vinny speaks? He gets rid of the THs, right? He puts a D there. He gets rid of every other R in the sentence. So if we were to just give Vinny a shout out, we say, hey, Vinny, how come you learned all these things? Where did you learn these things from about your pizza? And Vinny would say, from my
father's father.